Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Mikel Arteta says he loves Arsenal star Gabriel Jesus mentality. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta has claimed that he loves Gabriel Jesus mentality following his fantastic cameo against Bodo Glimt in the Europa League last night. The Gunners were made to work hard by the Norwegian giants, but they still managed to win convincingly. Goals from Edin Ketia, Rob Holding and Fabio Vieira sealed the game for Arsenal, but it was a Jesus' outrageous bit of skill for the third goal that blew everyone away. Jesus started the game on the bench last night, and after Arsenal went 2-0 up, many fans expected him to stay there ahead of the big game against Liverpool on Sunday. However, Arteta decided to bring him on along with Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka in the 58th minute. The Brazilian played on the left flank while Nketiah was on the pitch, and he was full of energy. The highlight of his cameo, however, came in the 84th minute as he danced past the three Bodo Glimt players to assist Fabio Vieira. Arteta was really impressed with Jesus, his pressing and his mentality. He said after the game, as quoted by Arsenal.com, "I love his mentality. It doesn't matter how long he plays, when he plays, in which position. He always gives absolutely everything. You see his pressing when he goes on the pitch. It makes the team different. His energy as well, obviously. Today, he made an outstanding action to create the third goal. He has won everything in the last 5 years. Imagine what the rest have to do, so follow him because he's always in the right spot." Arsenal are on top of the Premier League table at the moment, and Jesus is arguably the biggest reason why. The Brazilian, since his £45 million move from Manchester City back in July, has been truly sensational. He has scored 5 goals and provided 4 assists in just 10 appearances, which is a fantastic return. If Jesus can continue this form until the end of the campaign, Arsenal really can go on to achieve something special. Jamie Carragher says William Saliba really reminds him of £75 million star. Jamie Carragher says Arsenal's William Saliba is capable of replicating the impact Virgil van Dijk at Sunday's opponents Liverpool. Carragher wrote in his Telegraph column that Saliba could be the man to transform Arsenal's defense and consequently take them to the next level as a team. He said that the Frenchman allows Arsenal to play higher up the pitch, just like Van Dijk does at Anfield, and Mikel Arteta's side have a chance to go 14 points clear of Liverpool if they beat them on Sunday afternoon. He wrote, "At Arsenal, the integration of William Saliba and signing of Gabriel Jesus have elevated the team's performances to a point where they look like a top 4 team again. Saliba is a modern centre-back in the Van Dijk mould. He is fast enough to deal with the quickest strikers, aerially strong, to cope with target man, and comfortable in possession to ensure his side can play from the back. These are early days and Saliba has a long way to go to match Van Dijk's long-term influence at Liverpool, but he has had an immediate impact on how structurally sound a previously flaky defense looks. There is an echo of Van Dijk's early months at Anfield. The major tactical difference a player such as Saliba makes is in enabling the team to play higher up the pitch, trusting their pacey, multifaceted centre-half to react if strikers try to get in behind. So far, Saliba has been the perfect fit for Arteta, although he will occasionally show inexperience. His misjudgment enabled Marcus Rashford to score on the counter, although that is the only blemish this season it demonstrated, where Arsenal must improve to get close to the extraordinary standards set by Liverpool and Manchester City. Arsenal were patient with Saliba, loaning him out until he was ready, and now he seems set to help them push on, and if they can beat Liverpool, what a statement of intent that would be. Journalist says it's now definite Bukayo Saka will sign a new Arsenal contract. Benny Jacobs has told the Football Terrace that it's definite that Bukayo Saka will sign a new contract at Arsenal, but Gabriel Martinelli may have his head turned by the offers that come in for him. Arsenal are working to agree new deals with Saka and Martinelli, as well as William Saliba. Of course, it seems to be the perfect time to try and tie them down. Mikel Arteta's men are leading the way in the Premier League, and they appear to be on the cusp of a really special era in their recent history. Saka, Saliba, and Martinelli have all been standout performers for the Gunners this season, so agreeing fresh terms with the trio would be a huge boost and send out a major statement. There is interest from elsewhere. 90 Minute reported this week that Manchester City are working to convince Saka to join them, and that has apparently concerned Arsenal. Meanwhile, Chelsea are monitoring Martinelli, according to the Daily Mail. Jacobs has been able to alleviate any concerns over Saka, who is a special player. However, he issued an intriguing update on Martinelli, seemingly hinting that the Brazilian is happy to keep his options open. I would say there is a 100% chance it's definite that Saka will stay at Arsenal and will sign a new deal, he told the Football Terrace. I would say that it's highly likely that Saliba will find a way to get a deal done, and I would say that Martinelli's head might be turned by one or two offers that come in. But again, I don't see any problems for Arsenal because all three are playing at their peak, all three are in majestic form, and so are Arsenal. Rob Holding's display last night, just what Arteta needed. Arsenal led Bodo Glimt 2-0 by half-time, but could have been further ahead were it not for some wasteful finishing. Edin Ketia opened the scoring in the 23rd minute, following great work from Gabriel Martinelli and Kieran Tierney. Then, just 4 minutes later, the Gunners doubled their lead with yet more superb play. Viera took a corner, which was cleared back his way, and he delivered a cross, which Rob Holding headed home. The visitors started to get some encouragement in the game after the restart. This prompted Arteta to make some changes, with the likes of Gabriel Jesus, Martin Odegaard and Bukayo Saka coming on. It proved the right call, with Arsenal holding firm, and Jesus was also the architect for Arsenal's third goal. It was a solid display from most of Arsenal's players, and Holding will be especially happy with his efforts. The 27-year-old is fairly low down in the defensive pecking order, with William Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes and Ben White ahead of him. Nonetheless, Holding is a great professional, and his display against Bodo Glimt showed just how much strength and depth Arteta has in the position, as well as scoring. The £2 million Arsene Wenger signing delivered a solid performance, as per who scored. Holding made 71 passes with 94.4% accuracy and took 80 touches of the ball. He also won one aerial challenge, delivered 5 accurate long balls out of 7, and made 3 clearances, 1 tackle and 1 interception. Holding has outlasted numerous Arsenal centre-backs since his arrival in 2016, testament to his talent, work rate and attitude, while the likes of Gabriel, Saliba and White will get the Lions' share of the Premier League minutes. Holding's quality means Arteta can give one or two of them a rest in cup games. Mikel Arteta went mad at Arsenal youngster Marquinhos. According to Football London, Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta was very angry with young Marquinhos last night during the Gunners' 3-0 win over Bodo Glimt in the Europa League. The Brazilian, who moved to the red side of North London for £3 million in the summer, started against Zurich in Arsenal's opening game of the season's Europa League. He picked up a goal and an assist in Switzerland, but he wasn't quite as impressive at the Emirates last night. Marquinhos didn't have the best of starts to the game last night. The youngster was sloppy with a couple of his passes early on, and it seemed like he didn't quite have the confidence to take players on when he got the ball. Towards the end of what was a disappointing half, Marquinhos got on Arteta's nerve. Fabio Vieira picked up the ball on the touchline right in front of the Arsenal boss, and he was closed down quickly. The obvious pass for the Portuguese midfielder was to Marquinhos, but the 19-year-old just stood there without offering himself as an option. Viera had no way out and he conceded a throw-in. Arteta, who was very close to the action, reportedly went mad at the situation. He apparently shouted at Marquinhos, demanding him to be more alert in such situations. The youngster came out for the second half, but he barely lasted 14 minutes. He was replaced by Bukayo Saka. It definitely was a night to forget for young Marquinhos from a personal point of view. He just couldn't get going, but there is absolutely nothing to be worried about. The Brazilian is still only 19 years old. This is his first season away from his home country, and there will definitely be ups and downs in the coming weeks and months. Marquinhos has to ignore all the noise and put in the work. He definitely has the potential to become a top player, but that will not happen overnight. He will have to stay patient and learn from the players around him. Arsenal face Bodo Glimt again next week, and it will be interesting to see if Arteta will start Marquinhos again. Joey Cole praises Arsenal star Fabio Vieira after his performance. Joey Cole was seriously impressed by Arsenal midfielder Fabio Vieira, who starred in the Gunners' 3-0 win over Bodo Glimt in the Europa League last night. Vieira started just his third game for Arsenal last night, and he was superb. He missed a very good chance early on in the game, but made amends with a wonderful assist for Rob Holding's goal. Viera then scored a goal himself after Gabriel Jesus' outrageous skill in the box late in the game. Joey Cole, who covered the game as a pundit for BT Sport last night, was truly blown away by the 22-year-old's performance in attacking midfield. He said after the game, as quoted by the Metro, "Everything he does, he is one of those technicians where everything is with purpose. He is one of them, an absolute velvet left foot. This kid can do anything. He's got the competition in Martin Odegaard, one of the club captains, part of the leadership group, but this guy is a fantastic player." Vieira really was excellent for Arsenal last night. The Portuguese midfielder was brilliant on the ball, worked incredibly hard, and his cross for Holding's goal was simply sensational. He could have scored a hat-trick, but after two missed opportunities, he finally found the net in the end. Apart from his goal and assist, Viera had 37 touches of the ball, completed every single one of his 16 attempted passes, registered 3 key passes, and created 2 big chances. It was a fantastic display by the 22-year-old, who is slowly showing why Mikel Arteta and Edu spent over £30 million to sign him in this summer. Journalist responds when asked if Arsenal will enter a Jude Bellingham race. Journalist Bennett Jacobs has told the Football Terrace that he does not believe that Arsenal will enter the race to sign Jude Bellingham, suggesting that the Gunners currently have other priorities. Bellingham, of course, is one of the most exciting talents in Europe right now. The 19-year-old is well on his way to becoming indispensable for both club and country. A host of heavyweights have their eye on signing Bellingham. Jacobs told the Football Terrace that the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, Real Madrid, Chelsea and Manchester United are amongst his admirers. Of course, none of those English sides currently lead the Premier League table. It's Arsenal setting the pace right now after an electric start to the campaign. Mikel Arteta's side were unable to really strengthen in the middle of the park late on in the window, and Jacobs thinks that they remain in the market for that sort of player. Nevertheless, the journalist suggested that he does not believe that Arsenal are currently planning to make a move when asked about the likelihood of a deal. "I don't think so. For some reason, they have got other priorities, and that might be because of the price tag," he told the Football Terrace. "Also, as you say, if you qualify for the Champions League, you get that windfall. You have the ability to use a bit more financial muscle in the market, and we know that Arsenal would like, in an ideal world, to still strengthen in that position. It might also require over the course of the next 2 windows an outgoing as well, but let's see. At the moment, they haven't entered the race." It would be a stunning piece of business if Arsenal could win the race for Bellingham. Certainly, it would be a huge statement of intent given how quickly Arteta has got them flying again. A decision on Bellingham's future may come too soon for the Gunners. It does appear that they could be on the verge of a really special era, but they have been underwhelming for a number of years beforehand. Not only do they have to prove that they are back amongst the elite on the pitch, but they also have to show that they can sustain that for a number of years. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.